Casey, do you grow corn?
Corn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. How is it?
It's looking better now with the heat, but we're debating whether to go back into top dress with some nitrogen. We put all of our nitrogen on beforehand and work it in, and it's worked really good, but we've had a ridiculous amount of rain. I don't want to say ridiculous because I don't want to curse it, but at the same time, I think we've lost quite a bit of fertilizer.
Just remember how much rain's fallen from the Ohio line to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
And Nebraska to Maine.
Give me a second to grab a pair of headphones so I can block that out.
I was on Facebook earlier, one of my friends from Shepherd, he works for Pioneer Seed Corn down there, and
I know
he had
the area. I grew up down there.
Okay, he had 5 inches in his rain gauge this morning.
This morning.
They've had 10 inches of rain in less than 5 days.
Yep.
With 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches per week.
Was it both Saturday and Sunday? We had great weather. And
And
from,
they got
I think it was Saturday, it was Cadillac to Manistee South. Just got hammered wave after wave across the whole state.
Yeah.
And then even Sunday, farther south and more southeast, but a big wave. It must have done a lot of rain very quickly.
I'm trying to get my engineer to come up to work on the drainage system. And he has 25 projects from like Benton Harbor up to, this is the farthest north.
Okay.
And his other stuff is totally coming apart. The governor is going to do a national emergency.
What's going on? Oh, that's annoying.
And so he's just going to tie it up with his other projects.
Yes.
But he is coming Thursday. So I told him I've got a couple weeks here, maybe 3 weeks, and then I'm going to disappear to my orchard.
You got a nice crop?
Good crop of Swedes.
Are they, half of them gonna fall off here in the next week?
The golds are really lightening up.
There he is.
Emperor Francis and the Ulster are okay.
I'm gonna take a call. Hello?
Ulster?
Yeah.
Is the name of one of them?
Yeah, extra.
And if it was coming from Europe, I might think Eastern Europe, where cherries originated, but Ulster.
Are we all set?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll call this meeting to order. Stand for a quick pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Behrens?
Here.
Mr. Christensen?
Present.
And Mr. Noonan?
Here.
All present.
Approval of agenda. Our reason for meeting here is the 2020 budget. I don't have anything else to add other than that. If anybody else wanted to add anything, but
Move to approve.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? We have an agenda. No public comment? No review. Okay, moving on to the budget discussion.
Can I go back to the roll call issue? Is Melinda no longer part of this committee?
Correct. It's chair, vice, and secretary.
She came last year because I was thinking that she was the vice chair, and he was the vice chair. So she was here. I mean, any of the members could be here.
Right, but they'd have to be in the audience.
Right. So that was my mistake.
Which would mean, just clarification, they could only make public comment.
Right.
Okay. As we discussed at our last meeting, Scott, you were wanting an increase in your maintenance budget. How much would you like to increase? We're at 20,000.
Which line item is this?
Repair and maintenance.
Okay.
Last year unaudited was 23, and the year before was 27.5, and the year before that was 26.9. 16, 17, and 18. So
30?
one under and,
2 over 25.
or they're all over.
They're all over, but.
I was down at contractual, yeah, they're all over. 25 would be the minimum, it looks like.
Yeah.
What were we hitting over the last 3 years that was hitting us so hard?
Well, you had a water line break, you had it again this year, right?
Yep.
And that, you said that cost 4,500 to fix this year?
Oh, it was less than that.
Oh, the
Yeah.
irrigation system's been hitting us hard, hasn't it?
Yeah.
At Miles, right?
Yeah, because we had to have some well issues.
That's like 10 grand a year or something, just to keep that thing pumping.
So far, it's been.
This year it's
good.
okay.
Haven't used it much, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what have they had? They've had to do like valve replacement or?
Yeah. The screen was plugged and we had all sorts of valve issues and pressure problems, and I kind of got through all that.
Last year.
Yeah. I rewired it all. I did. I didn't have it done, but
I'm sorry, how big an area does this cover?
It's a soccer field. Well, it's more than a soccer field, isn't it?
no, it's just the soccer.
Just the soccer field. And then the other grounds around it are not irrigated.
Correct.
So 25 should probably, unless we have to dive back into that thing next year.
Well, the grub shack is next year, right? Or is
Yeah,
it this year?
2020.
Okay, and Miles' grub shack needs help.
Should we bump this to 30 then?
Yeah.
Okay, because let's put the Miles Grub Shack in that concept here.
For under maintenance. And
Yeah,
not- And then
yeah.
have the,
Yeah, well, isn't that where we go?
We'll get your cousin to go from Old Settlers to Miles.
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Let me bring this up. Within talk of plan, and I think it really is tentative plan, a whole paved circular walkway at Miles. Now we're talking grub shack. This is the kind of stuff that the Recreation Passport Grant really addresses. And because it's not competing with acquisition funds, you know, maybe a little better chance, especially here in this county, I mean, this far north. So is that something, I'm not saying don't, well, the question is, for recreation passport, you have to have certain parts of the key expenditure in the CIP.
It is.
And so I just want to say that, I don't even know what that is, but you guys do. So make sure what we talk about can get reflected wherever or whatever, because that may open up a possibility for a grant that we, who knows what we choose to do after the 5-year plan's done.
Right.
Well, that's another point though, the 5-year plan, that's gonna be about 9 grand. And then the, Grub Shack's 28. So call it 30 and call it 10, that's 40 grand. In, the year that we're working on, 2020, right?
Well, then when we put the 9,000 for Gosling Zubek will come out of 19's budget, right?
Well,
Because they're
I don't know
doing,
what
they're
budget
doing.
that would come out of, though. I don't know that would.
what did he say at the meeting? December, didn't he?
Yeah, to finish up.
So that'll come out of 019 then?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, he had February and stuff down.
That's when the actual
That's the next
response
round.
from the state on acceptance of has to be done by February 1st before, so that we can then make a grant application.
The,
Should we continue to choose that?
we are siphoning, like 1,200 that wasn't spent for the grant app into, so in 2020, we will have the grant app monies, better say like at least 2,000, but that'll be in there. We can cover that with contractual, can't we?
Now, did we set aside 10,000 this year for the supposed winning of the first grant application thing, and we were gonna do 10,000 a year for 3 years?
Yeah, well, and it's still in the capital outlay, because it won't be expended or moved.
We
but-
did the one.
Right, and now, out of 19, we haven't done anything, that was out of 18.
Yeah, so when we get to the bitter end this year, hopefully there's about 10 left.
Right.
I'm still learning about budget stuff.
As a
So,
month.
so.
We
so
let
it was
10
buried
go, we
under-
let 10 go, basically is what we're doing. We're letting it go back.
Right, we're leaving 10 in the capital outlay budget and just.
Which is really just, it's not real money sitting in a separate little drawer that says
It didn't
capital
get,
outlay.
it
It's-
didn't get spent.
There's no line item for it, as far as.
It's over, we have a bottom line budget. You know, everything we spend, if we can fit it in this
Got it.
total, it fits somewhere. And
Good. Well, I'm glad we did
the
that.
people
Yeah,
in
right.
accounting can fit it somewhere in here. And we just need to stay black, not red. And what we did last year and did this year, we're gonna have to make sure there's 10 left. So the county board knows that, you know, we left 10, and that's our payment in lieu of.
If they support that the next time around.
Right, well, I mean, it's a good faith.
Yeah, I think,
A
yeah.
gesture, and it's more than a gesture, it's us saying we're gonna do something, doing it.
We started the pot.
Yeah,
with $10,000.
we didn't spend it, we left
Money.
it because that's,
But so
part
if we put
of,
the
part of
10,000
what they're
in
gonna
for-
manage, see?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And so if we put 10,000 in, what, it doesn't go in this budget? For
Well, it will-
2000
it'll-
For 2020?
We'll hopefully, again, that'll be our third one, we're gonna do 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So toward the end of 2020, we have to make sure that we still have 10 in as we go through the year. Don't spend it, so
Did
to
we
speak.
start, did we actually do 10, and this is the third, this will be the
This will
third?
be,
This is the
019 is
second.
the second, and 020 will be the third. And we pledged 3,
Yeah.
that's 30,000, that's a certain percentage of their match, a third of their match or
Right.
something. So when it comes time for them to decide whether they're gonna match again,
Yeah, and I don't need it, that, you've answered my questions around that right now, so
Okay.
jump on to whatever else you need here.
So you wanna ask for 30?
Yes.
And that goes under maintenance and repair?
Yep.
I mean,
Well-
we've been over 20 for the last,
well over,
Right.
26, 27, 23.
yeah.
Come close to, I mean,
Yeah, it's a variety of reasons too. It's machinery, and then it's irrigation, and then it seems like
Yeah.
it'd be silly not
The
to be
stuff
there.
that pops up is never cheap. so.
well, yeah, the water line breaks and all that stuff.
And there's enough, we've got,
1,700 to spray trees.
Right, yeah, it all.
we've got enough machinery now that, like you say, if anything happens to it, it's not cheap. A bearing system, a shaft.
Right.
Yeah.
And all that stuff just keeps going up.
A rebuild of anything.
Now, that being said, somewhere along the line, decide what kind of roller you want and find out when we have to order it so that we can have it in 019.
Okay.
And if it doesn't fit in 019, then we can take
We talked about
ownership in
groomer, too,
January.
but
The roller for the groomer.
Groomer and a roller. so
Right.
that's
There's
just-
two different things, although,
I mean, I get prices on the same company.
okay, would we be able to transport the roller with, just not the groomer?
Yeah.
So we have to have a groomer at both places. Okay. I'm trying to think ahead to because having a roller would be really good, because it would really help for grooming. And Scott can do this much and this much, but if we had a roller, it would be that much better.
Yeah.
Contractual services. 13, 23, 17. And we adopted 11.5.
What's been causing us to go over stuff?
Well, the 23, wasn't that the storm cleanup?
May have been.
Or 17?
Contractual services are like weed spraying, fertilizing. We took on Old Settlers doing the grass there.
Oh, right.
So that's
Garbage?
porta potties.
And we add some for, or move them around at least for the larger events,
Yeah.
now that we're into larger events.
Yep.
Well, and those haven't changed as far as porta potties, right? From
Not the quantity, the cost may have gone up a little bit.
Sure. As far as what we've been, the number and the events have all been the same, right?
Yeah, and I think,
Yeah, I've gotten one for a couple weeks at 4-H.
Oh,
and then we'll have to decide on this concert, whether we're gonna drop a couple there.
Well, they should,
They provide,
yeah.
absolutely.
It's in that agreement. They're responsible for returning the park to the way it was.
And there are bathrooms there.
yes.
And in some of the rough draft stuff I did on policy, I certainly included that an event had to bring in additional porta potties if their crowd was gonna need it.
Right.
That was not something that we would do.
Well, if you're talking 7 to 1,000 people for a concert, it wouldn't be if, it'd be how many?
It's not our responsibility.
Right, but I mean, they need to do it, so it's not a problem.
Okay.
So we need to make sure they do it. And if it's in the contract, they should do it, but somebody should probably mother in that a little bit. Because that could be a real issue for the neighbors.
Well, I'll be at fishing day Sunday,
Watering the
so
petunias.
I'll take note. We have 2 there. Veronica, the 3.
Two.
Two.
Oh, yeah, Veronica, 2.
2. I'll just take note of use. Is
Well,
that something?
They add.
Do
a
they?
couple.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, the
fish day.
kids' fish day,
Yeah, I think they bring in 2 more.
good.
That committee's organized enough. When I've gone to the meetings, they don't talk every detail because there are people who already have done.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to the
Yeah.
stuff that goes on there, because those guys got it
Yeah.
down.
I've been out there with them once and talked to him again this morning. Lonnie's the new chairman coming up behind Pete. That's good to go.
So are we gonna bump contractual services, I guess is the question. 16 was 13.8, 17 was 23.3, and 18 was 17.3. And we have it at 11.5.
There may be $1,500, say, or $1,200 of spraying late this year, or again next year relative to the cost sharing with Fish and Wildlife. If we move toward, well, that's the if. It may not even be if we move towards phase 2. What we've already done is done well. If it needs something, we'll want to do that because it's done so well. And I don't know that yet. That'd be late season.
Okay.
Well, that one will be this year. But for next year, there'll be maybe another 1,200 to 1,500 on that.
Looks like we ought to be at least at 15. You know, thinking that 017 might be an anomaly. We have a 13 and a 17.
Right, both
Right.
So I'm thinking we ought to be at 15 there anyway.
We're averaging 18.
Well, if you toss out the low and high, I mean, you're still over.
At 17.
Yeah. So you're still,
Right.
at 18?
Okay. And look at the numbers, is what Scott's telling me. Look at the numbers, dummy. Oh, okay. I can take a hint.
Everything else seems to be, I mean,
Not too bad.
you got $100 here and there,
Salaries, hospitalization,
We can't
You have no
touch any of
control
that.
over those.
we can't go over
No,
those.
you
Can't touch
change
those.
Well, I want a raise.
I do
No, I'm
too.
just thinking because we're looking to add
That all
halftime
gets taken care of.
next year. And also,
That just gets adjusted. If we decided we wanted a halftime, then.
Did you talk to Chet about that?
He knows.
Okay. The halftime and understands the.
Right.
Okay. I told him about it the next day, but I just want to make sure that things are, it doesn't get dropped through the cracks. And that will go to the Board of Commissioners, right?
Right.
And that, we don't have any.
In fact, that's probably going to be part of the budget, if anything.
Right.
Yeah.
David's awaiting the results of an interview he had last week.
Okay.
He may be gone
Soon.
soon.
Well, he has definite skills.
He might.
He has definite skills.
Yeah,
That are in demand.
So Laurel, tell me, when does the full commission kind of start chewing on this?
It won't start with the full commission, it's going to start with Chet, the treasurer's office, and the clerk's office, and accounting.
Oh, okay.
They start hammering out things, and
Okay.
then they'll, by the time, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but
Oh,
I want to say it's sometime in August.
That's fine.
They'll have their first budget work session,
That's fine. I was just curious.
It usually goes into September.
because they have to gather everything from all the departments, start plugging in numbers, and do a little discussion before they can present a rough draft to the board.
They have to get comfortable with it, but bring it to them.
That's fine. Yeah, I understand that.
So uniforms, if we do bring on another guy, would we would need to discuss that?
They can amend your budget at any time.
Yeah, it would have to be,
Be adjusted.
yeah.
We'll have to see if they approve the halftime first.
Sure.
And go from there.
I'm just going through line by line.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Right.
What's per diem?
Meetings.
Paying everybody that comes here.
Mileage.
You get money per meeting if you want it.
Let's not tell them that.
The Mileage
You mean
is under travel.
for the regular monthly meeting?
For the regular monthly meeting and I think any meeting. isn't
Any
it?
meeting, we could, yeah, we could.
And if you went out of town too.
Per diem rates are as follows: $70 full day, $40 one half day.
It's whatever the board makes, so 70/40.
70/40.
70/40 and
On.
30.
So our meetings would be 40.
Well, if you're one of the board members. If you have a
And-
company car, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I didn't know
You
this
can- You can
because
claim mileage too.
I didn't know this only because I'm lazy. I mean, about this job. I went out of town twice for grant workshops.
Oh.
Cadillac, you know,
Yeah, they would have bought your lunch.
and I ate lunch and all. That's fine. Okay.
I'm not telling you, you can't do it. You can do it if you want. That's what the money's there for.
Glenn never did it. Not putting any pressure on anybody. I can't because I'm getting paid.
Right.
I don't do it either for the sport. Just because we're running close on, I don't know, but it's up to you guys whether you choose to take it or not.
trackable, right? I don't want to look at it.
It was easier when I was a commissioner because I could just plug it in on an iPad and it was no big deal, but now, yeah, it's.
I can just stick Glenn in them. Because I had my own relationship with him. That's great.
Close downstairs?
Yeah, but I need your app.
Yeah.
Somebody was gonna be there at 3, but
That's what it said, it'd be back by 3.
Canvas
you wanna
garbage.
slide it, want to give it to me?
I don't have an app, I just brought the survey and I was gonna fill out the app here.
There's one in the, that little, box right there next to the door.
Oh,
Wall
okay.
mount?
That makes
The
it
wall
easy.
mount, yeah.
I'll go down and grab one.
Yeah, don't leave without leaving it, because I need it.
Check payable too.
LCD. It's just, is it a, well, it's, I forget what the,
Building site evaluation. Is that the right term?
are you doing an app or just a site visit?
I'll do that. Tim said to fill out an,
It's residential, you're gonna sell it, and they're gonna build a house. It's $140, LCD.
LCD. Thank you.
Can I ask why gas and oil is so high?
That's a really good question, and I wish I didn't have to spend so much on the darn stuff.
Well, no, when you're looking
Where?
at your budget.
Yeah, the gas and oil,
Just about
and it's,
repair and maintenance.
you've been spending about under $2,000 for the past 3 years.
Maybe if you adjusted that down, that would go a long ways towards making the other stuff look attractive.
That's a good question.
56
What do you think,
hours
Scott?
Year to date, I can't believe that that's right.
But when you look at the audited,
Because
Yeah, if you just,
I just bought 71 gallons worth of diesel fuel a month ago, and it's not on here.
but
these.
you're
these
looking at the
three-
last 3 audited figures, and none of them are over 2.
Yeah, right, true.
Could we drop it to 2? Just to pick
Or
a round
3,
number?
maybe.
Yeah.
3.
25.
Sold.
So,
Concessions.
You win some and you lose some. He giveth and he taketh away.
Did you want to lower that
Yeah, we're dropping it to
to
25.
25?
25. You did you eliminate the trash cans at Old Settlers?
are they gone at, Veronica? I was just there yesterday, but I can't remember.
No. I'm gonna try putting them in a cage, so they can only lift the
Oh, that's
lid.
right. Excuse me, yeah.
So if you bring a bag of garbage, you gotta
It's not gonna
put it
fit.
one time, one item at a time.
Right.
Get your hands dirty.
Yep. Or just throw it next to the thing.
That's what I do. All right. Okay.
What
Yeah.
about- what is the capital outlay under 5,000 that we haven't expended any of in the last 3 years?
Yeah, I don't know how what constitutes that.
Yeah,
Just
it's
know.
where they put things.
If you buy a,
Mr. President, how you doing?
Did you bring donuts?
I just want to show you this. They're applying for a historical marker. The application process is lengthy. But they did a great job. If you're interested, let's go.
that's their application.
Yeah, this is just the application. But the whole history, I mean, look at the work they did, all these articles they found, way
How cool.
back when, notices, original documents,
This is simply for a,
historical marker.
A
doesn't-
marker.
Yeah. So I said, they did a
yeah.
That is impressive.
So I'll answer that, I'll leave it to Laura if you want to see it, but it's some great articles going back. I mean, I just couldn't believe this is application.
I look at that and think with grant applications,
I was gonna say,
I
yeah.
think I get scared.
Well-
Well, to think that it almost got torched.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we'll have a tennis court proposal contracts very shortly.
Okay, and I was just asking Laurel.
I probably walked in, I didn't mean to go too.
Okay.
But no, but I just thought you should
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
that
that's
they
cool.
processed
I
it, got
definitely
sent
wanna
in.
see that.
Thank you.
That's- And I went to their plow day, that was very impressive when they had those old horses, those large. those- So they're doing a lot of work, so it's a great partnership.
Yeah, it's been a good deal.
All right. That's it.
Thanks,
I'll
Chad.
leave this here in case anyone wants to look at it. I saw it.
Well, yeah, with the capital outlay,
Right here.
it looks like you better have some
That
numbers for
looks
those.
okay,
A
then
groomer and
incorporate that outside.
Yeah.
at least one roller.
For capital outlay 45,000 or capital outlay under 4,000? Or under 5,000?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know why that is there.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't really know what the difference is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
But
I saw it.
we've been letting it,
Yeah, just
I
forward.
mean, it doesn't look like we've been touching it at all.
no, we just let it ride and
I don't want to necessarily.
I don't know yet.
Rock
So
them a
we were
bit.
getting this
but-
updated so that we
Why
can
is
send
it
it to
there?
them.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll send
I
you-
don't have a good answer.
So you
Or
took
why
that
that-
little-
It might be kind of an emergency thing, you know, it's something that Chet can just do if we need it right away kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Do you know about that, Laurel?
But you'd want to know that.
The capital
In case
outlay
something
under
came up
5,000?
Poorly and stuff.
That's something Chet could just do, right?
Right. It wouldn't have to go out for quotes.
So if we
So
needed
it's
something
Kind of like when the sheriff had.
ASAP, for some
Like you needed
reason.
to order a tree or something, you know, something emergency related that is low cost.
So it makes sense to have 4,000 there just in case.
Well, would it
It's kind of
necessarily be an
cool.
emergency, like if I bought a table saw or something for $1,000 or?
Well, let's say we had a horrendous windstorm and we had to have a tractor crew come in and log that out. That would, you know, just emergency stuff.
Okay. So that's just kind of a separate little kitty that.
Yeah.
4,000.
It's like a little
Your
insurance,
girder
like an
broke down
insurance
and
policy.
needs shearing pins or something, and I don't know how much there. You know what I mean? Just something that's under 5
Yeah.
that you could.
It's
hook
like a
for.
little insurance policy.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted.
That's the only, yeah, I couldn't, yeah.
Other than that, for the 45,000, some justification for that, the grub shack's gonna be 28 of that. Which might be less than that, because I think we can get some fairly decent donations.
Yeah, I've yet to, it's on my list to email Lori.
But that plus your roller, but that's gonna be out of your 19 budget.
Yeah.
You're gonna buy that in 19.
I think the groomer and the roller wouldn't be more than 5,000 together.
Okay.
Just guessing.
But you're hoping to buy that out of 19 budget, not 2020.
The grub shack at Miles
Yeah, both grub.
needs attention. We're gonna have to hire Klaus to redo all the stuff you wanna redo for the Miles plan. And that's gonna be $5,000, I bet, if it's $1. Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that it was apparent that we're not gonna be able to squeeze out of them during the update. That was kind of, the Miles Committee's plan was, let's see what we can squeeze Klaus for during the update.
Right.
And, so that's gonna be, you know,
But we don't have to update the plan before we remodel the grub shack there.
no, it's kind of, both items are gonna need to be, paid for, probably in 20.
But you don't have to really update that plan specifics unless you're going to go for a grant.
for miles.
Well, that's wrong, because we're gonna have to redo it because the whole ball field thing is being rethought. On the plan, we have 2 new ball fields that are situated in a different position than the existing.
Well, the plan he had them back the way there's,
Did he?
yeah, he had a different plan altogether.
Well, that's interesting, but, you know, that has to be decided
He
on.
did
And
some
then
pencil.
where is the trail gonna go that we're, and how are we going to present it? Is it gonna be totally engineered, or is it just gonna be cross sections?
I can put in there grub shack, old settlers, grub shack at Miles, along with
Plan redo?
plan update and possible money towards projects.
Yeah, yeah, we could.
Trailer or what.
We may wanna try to squeeze in, the base layer, initial grading and base layer of,
Plus the plus
of the walking trail, and then put off the asphalt to the following year,
plus 10 grand for,
set aside. So we will have no trouble
yeah,
spending that money.
spending that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. I just wanna make sure that we try and get as close to expending that as possible, which doesn't sound like it's gonna be.
So capital outlay
Not for-
outlay remains at 45.
Right.
Okay.
Not for 20. 19, I don't know where we are. So we'll have the update, that'll suck up,
Well, technically, we're
9.
at 35 because we already set 10,000 aside.
And the update's gonna be 9 or something.
Yeah.
So that takes us down to 20.
But you've got that credit
And
of
then-
1,200.
Right.
And then the groomer and the roller. You're set for a trailer to do that with.
Yeah, we need more trailers.
We
No.
could try and go out for bids for grub shack at. You just need that fixed, right? No additions or anything?
No.
Roof, siding, windows, doors, and foundation. Plus some interior partitioning, probably.
Is that for miles?
Miles, yeah.
A roof at the very minimum.
We had it all
That's
set
gonna
to
be
do a
decent.
roof, and then the guy backed away from it.
Which getting somebody to do anything this year is gonna be difficult, but.
Yeah, but a slab of steel roof up there is pretty quick.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Might actually get that for under 5 grand,
Yeah.
depending on who you have to do it. Maybe that might be something to look at. But for 2020, at least, we have that money expended.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty easy.
Yes. What shape is the parking lot at Veronica?
What shape is that?
Yeah, what shape is it? A plus, B minus,
Yeah,
C.
Give it a C.
I wouldn't give it lower than B minus. I was on it yesterday again. I mean,
I think it's fairly flat, but it should be graded. But
it should be great.
Top dress and grade.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Graded, I had road commission grade miles.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Pretty
Suppose
good.
they do Veronica?
They might. Cost me $175 to have it done. That's not bad.
No, that's not at all.
I'm just thinking, you know, if we're at a position where we're gonna have a little bit to work with. Stack the roller, you know,
Right.
get a little laundry list going so that we can pull the trigger here in August and some of it maybe.
It'd be really nice if that was paved, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
You never know.
Veronica.
I have no sense. 40 grand,
I would guess.
I was gonna say at least 30.
somewhere in that range.
And that's concrete or blacktop?
That's
That'd be
asphalt.
blacktop, yeah.
Then you probably have to put curbs in. I don't know where that whole thing's gone, so.
Yeah.
Oh, from the county side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of,
But I can tell you the difference between contractors is crazy.
it's kind of party store parking and access at this point. I know in the plan, it's more of an in and out with a little more direction to it.
A little bit in Miles that we paved where we tore it up. Elmer's wanted 3,600. Ron Brown wanted 1,380 or something like that. Was
It
that
was
one?
at least half,
Yeah,
at least.
it was not very much. It was like,
Well-
it was like a third of Elmer's price.
That might be something that would fit in 019. And we'd have to pull the trigger pretty early on that to try to get in line for it.
Paving.
The fix that you
Oh,
just
the
talked
fix
about.
is already done.
That's done, okay.
Yeah, it's in the works. So.
Oh, okay. And that's coming out of this,
Yeah, it'll be repair maintenance.
so that's going to happen, and that's 15 or 18 or something.
Any other questions or comments? I'll proceed with this as such, or with these adjustments. Drop gas and oil down to from 4,000 to 2,500. Increase repair and maintenance from 20,000 to 30,000. And increase contractual services from 11,500 to 18,000. And everything else will remain.
In continuation of the halftime parks position.
Correct.
Move
Do I,
to present.
do I need to reflect that in here?
I'd added it to my notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know where that would go in here, because I don't know.
Quite frankly, I don't either. but-
I'll mention it to Jen when I go over there to
Okay.
work on this.
And then the salaries and all that, who knows?
Yeah,
It
that's
wouldn't
right.
even be a benefited
Yeah.
position, because it'd be.
There's so much in a budget that you have no control over.
Right, yeah, right.
Move to present as adjusted.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Any other board member comments? No public comment? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
We are
Cool.
adjourned. So you were saying your goals are fitting, but your Francis are
Yeah, and for Francis, it's better than they have in the last couple of years, so which I'm happy about.
we've got some darks right now that are bigger than what our goals were last year when we harvested them.
And we'll start